Okay, welcome to Data Voice Discovery channel. Today we are going to see one of the important concept of object-oriented programming, that is encapsulation. Today we are going to see what is encapsulation, how it is used in our code, why it is so important. We'll discuss about the access modifier. Okay, so at first I want to say what is encapsulation. Okay, what is exactly the encapsulation? I want to show you some of the pictures regarding this regarding the encapsulation. Okay, so in encapsulation, what we do is just make the capsule, right? This is a capsule which you use when you are actually sick. Okay, when you get fever or something like that, when you are sick you just take some capsule. Okay, this is the capsule, and in this capsule there are different kind of ingredient or medicines. Okay, so actually what is encapsulation is nothing but combining this variable and methods in one class. Okay, so that is encapsulation. Here is variable, and let's say in red part there is methods, and whole outer cover is a class. So wrapping the variable, which is also known as attribute, and method into one class is known as encapsulation. Okay, I have written here wrapping data and method within a single unit is called encapsulation. Okay, and this is generally done in order to prevent the access by the outsiders. Okay, so if I want to access any variable that is present in the class from the outside of that class, which I should not be able to do that, right? So I should not be able to go inside that class and change the variable or attribute present in that class. In this case I use encapsulation. Okay, so the second line is same thing. It is used to hide the internal state of the object, and the last one is the main objective is to hide the data and the method, right? So if we hide the data and method, what we are just doing is just restricting the outsiders from entering to our code. Okay, so that's the thing. So in order to protect this data we will use what is known as access modifiers, and there are three types of access modifiers. First one is public, second one is protected, and third one is private. Okay, so we'll discuss about this type of access modifier in more detail, and to achieve this encapsulation, what I have said is access modifier, and we'll also see property decorator, but this will we will see in next video. Okay, we'll use a getter and setters in order to get the value from the user, or to post the value, or to get the value. Okay, so there is a access modifier. We'll first discuss about the public. The public is nothing but the attribute that can be accessible outside the class. Let me make a class. Okay, just let me make a class. Okay, so over here what I have just done is make a class name student, right? And I have make one constructor method, and I am passing here name, and I am giving my instance variable to that whatever we have passed during that creation of that object. Okay, so in name it will take Mohan, and self dot name equal to Mohan, and I have also made another method, that is so. In the so I have passed self, right? To access the attributes of the current objects we need to pass this self, and my name is equal to self dot name. It will show whatever I have passed during that creation of that object. Okay, so I am creating the object A from the class student, so I need to pass the name Mohan, and if I call the method associated with that object, then I just write a dot show in this self, there will be the information of this object, and it will show me my name is Mohan. Okay, so in this case what I can do is I can just give the name of the object dot and the name of the variable, then I can access the attribute that is associated with that object. Okay, if I write a dot name, then I can access the name attribute of that object. Okay, so here if we don't give anything, or if we write like this, then the uh, then this variable will be public. Okay, so if we don't do anything, this will be public and we can access the variable like this. If we can access the variable like this, then we can also change that variable. Okay, so a dot name is equal to, let's say, David. Okay, and if I do print a dot name, then this will just show me that what I have provided initially as the name will be changed to David. Okay, so a dot name will be printed as David. Okay, so let me run it in the console. So it is just showing me David. Okay, that's all about the public. So public, what you just remember is that public public can be attribute as well as method. So if you write normally your instance variable and your method, then it will be considered as public, and you can access that public data or method outside the class. And if you can access that thing, you can also change it. Okay, so that much you need to remember in the public. So let me go into the next code. So this is the code. So we will discuss about this private. Okay, so in private, now the problem in the public specifier is that the anyone with, let me just do control Z first. Let me put this one. Okay, the problem in the public specifier is that anyone can change the value of the attribute, or they can just change the value of the variable inside our objects, right? But in the main idea to introduce private is to restrict the access to the authorized user only. Okay, so in order to restrict that access, what we will use is private access specifier. Okay, in order to make that as a private, what we need to do is this is a constructor. Okay, so you will find here the difference. Okay, so let me write that again. So if we give self dot underscore underscore, okay, that's also known as dunder. Okay, double underscore, that is also known as dunder. And if I write it as name is equal to name, then this will be regarded as a private variable. Okay, this is the indication that this name is a private variable, this double underscore. Okay, hope you understand this thing. So let me just do this thing. So if I define the show, and in order to access this variable, I need to write self dot underscore underscore name, and I'll print the name. Okay, so let me create an object first, and if I call a ob dot normal, so this is a public method and this is a private. Okay, so I can access that private from that same class, and all the method present in that class can access on this private variable. Okay, so if I run this code, what you will get is my name is Mohan. Okay, so this is simple. I guess. Let me comment this all this about code. Okay. Okay, up to now we have defined this. We have defined this private variable. We have called this method and we have printed this private variable. Okay, now I can also make the method as private. In order to make the method as private, I need to write a double underscore that will make this method as a private. And now if I do ob.so, then it should not be called outside that class. So what our general intuition say that this will create some error. Okay, so this has created some error. So in order to call this private function, what you need to do is ob.so. If I call this, it should still give me an error because it is not accessible outside the class. Okay, so this is not accessible. Now if I make this both, if I don't have this one, let me say if I don't have this one, and if I make my both my variable and my method as private, then there is no use of this class also. Okay, so in order to make use of this class, I'll make one public method that is a detail, and in the detail I'll just let me just let me just go back and let me just detail, and from this method that is present in the outside the class, I can call any method that is present within that class. Okay, now call that I can call that show method. Okay, so in order to call that show method, I should just write self dot underscore. If I do so, then it will call me that show method. What it will print is my name is Mohanarel. Okay, in order to call that, so I need to provide ob.detail. Okay, if I run this code, it is just showing me my name is Mohan. I hope this is clear. So this here at outside of the function, what you need just to understand is that outside this class we cannot access this private variable. Okay, now but there is some catch also. Okay, though we are saying that we cannot access the variables and these private variables and methods outside the class, but I'll show you some of the method in order to access that private variable, but you should not do it in your general practice. Okay, so you should not go to the company and show your skills of accessing this private variable. Okay, so this is just for general knowledge only, don't try to use it anywhere. Okay, so what I can do is I can just show you something. Okay, print, let me say I have ob, right, object, and if I write the dictionary, then it will show me what private variables that are what are the variables that are present in my object. Okay, so this class, what types of object that is, so it is showing me there is one private variable that's is Mohan. Okay, so if I write self uh, let me, is there indentation problem? Yep, I think self, let me pass self dot is equal to is. Okay, is not is, and if I pass over here, let's say 45, and let me make some change over here. if I write like this, then it is showing me, right, this is a normal variable, right, this is a public variable, and in the case of private variable this will be shown like this. Okay, so let me now I just wanted to show you this much only, so this is okay, I don't want this one. So in order to see what types of variable that are present in my class, what you need to do is just ob dot double underscore double underscore, this is also known as, if we write this double underscore, this is also known as a dunder method or a magic method. Okay, so now what I will do is I will access that private variable from outside the class. Okay, so what I need to write is ob dot, and I need to give the student name, and I need to write a double underscore and then name. Okay, so if I do this, I can access the student name, that is private variable, outside of my class. Okay, so this is a C code, right? So if I do write like this, then I'll get Mohan outside the class. If I can access this variable outside the class also, then I can obviously change this one. Okay, so if I write student underscore name, if I give it as David, and if I print, if I print ob dot ob dot student underscore name, then in this case this private variable will be changed to David, and my result will be David. Okay, so this is now giving me access to that private variable. Okay, so you should not do this or show this code to anyone, right? So this is quite a bit of cheat code, let me say that as a cheat. For a basic information, you should know this, how we can change it, but don't do at the company which you are working or anything like that. Okay? So the last one, our last access specifier is protected. So the basic concept of protected is that if we make any variable that is present in the parent class, then it should be transferred to the child class only. Okay, this one level of inheritance is being ensured by this protected. So let me write this definition first. Attribute and method can be accessible only with that class, of course, and child class. Okay, so that method and variable can be accessible only within that child class only. Okay, so the if any method and attributes are present in the parent class, then that method and variable can be only be used by the child class only. Okay, let me now, in order to make any variable or method as a private, what you need to do is just write a underscore, one underscore and name only. So let me now again make this class as student. Let me give an let me make an constructor and pass a name, and if I will make an instance variable that's self.name equal to name equal to name. Now I'll make another method that is so, which will take in self, and now I'll do printf my name is, and in order to access this one we need to write is self dot underscore name. Okay, so I've done here mistake. In order to say this name variable, instance variable as a private, as a protected. What you need to do is just write this underscore, okay? So and just print that thing, and I'll call the object. So a is equal to student. Let me pass the name as Mohan, and if I call that object as a.show, then it will just print me my name is Mohan, okay? So this much is okay for now. And over here, if I do print a underscore, what I have object is a, right? That underscore name. If I try to access this, it should basically it should not give me this value, okay? Basically it should not give me this value, but it is giving me that variable, that's protected variable, directly outside the function, okay? So what we can say from here is that the protected is not generally or nicely implemented in Python, okay? So the basic motive of making a variable as a private is being violated over here. uh, Generally why we do here is to restrict the outsider from accessing that variable, what we are we are able to access that variable, okay? So protected concept is not so much important in our Python, but I'll show you now. I'll make now another class that inherits from this student, okay? So inherits from a student, and if I do, let me make a so self, that's a method overriding problem, right? If I do print my name is self dot underscore name, this self dot underscore name is not present in our child class, but it is inheriting this student class, so it is coming from this class. Now I can access that object, right? Let's say ob is equal to, i'll make an I'll make an object of b, but since this student b is inheriting from this student, and this student have this variable name also, okay? So I need to initialize this one first. What I need to write here is I need to provide my name first, and I will be able to create that object, okay? So if I write this ob.show, then I will get my name is Mohan, okay? So my name is Mohan. I hope this concept is easier. In real practice, there is no such thing as a private and protected, okay? Everything we write in Python can be accessed outside this also, okay? So this is not secure, but in practice we will make our variable mostly public and as private, okay? So this much for today. I hope you understood something from my lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. Please subscribe the channel. It will motivate me to bring out new videos. So have a nice day and cheers.